Hey, everybody. I wanted to talk to you about a super quick, easy way to write a book. Now, why would you want to write a book quick and easy? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I happen to know from personal experience after writing 5 books that there's a process and there's a process that you can follow to get your book done. But what happens to most people is they have an idea for a book for many, many, many years, and they never do anything with it. They start writing the book and they talk about it and it ruminates. And maybe they've written a lot of it, or maybe they've written a little of it, but it never makes it out into the world. And there's only one reason for that. And it's because you've never written a book before. So you don't know. The reality is that you can write a book in 30 days or less. This is true. And I'm going to share with you my process. I've actually written books in 30 days or less. However, my most successful book took me 10 years. It's my first book. Once I knew how to write a book, I never had to take that long ever again. I want to show you my other book, my second book. Hang on, let me get it. Wasn't ready. Here we go. Okay, so I wrote this from start to finish to Amazon within 30 days. Now, granted, this is a shorter book. This book is about, let's see how many pages is this book. 105 pages, as opposed to this one, which is like over 300. But here's the thing. If you know the process of how to write a book, you can get one started and finished very quickly. And I'm going to share with you that 5-step process. Before I jump into the 5 steps, though, I want to say that one thing that stops people from getting started in the first place is they say, who am I to write a book? Who am I? Right? But I want you to know that if you have a calling to write a book, it means you know something. It means that you have a perspective on something that will help other people. And that's why you feel this calling. Now, the book that I wrote that's been on the Amazon bestseller list for over a dozen times, Art, Money, Success. I'm not the first person to write a book for artists that teaches them how to make money, but I am the first person to write a book for artists from my perspective and my personal experiences. And that is what makes my book of interest to some people. You have your own experiences, your own perspective on a topic, and you are feeling the call to share this. So you should share it. And I want to encourage you to do it. And I'm going to give you 5 steps right now. Okay, step number 1 to getting your book written in 30 days or less is to make a commitment, a true commitment, and set a deadline. So you could set the deadline for 30 days from now to have your first draft completed and ready to give to a professional editor. Okay. Number 2, I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, and visualize your book being completed. The cover with your name on it. Maybe a working title or a title you've already decided on. I want you to visualize this book being finished. And I want you to feel how good that feels. And then I want you to imagine someone picking up your book for the first time and saying, oh, this might help me. And I want you to imagine what kind of impact your book is going to have on people. And if you take time to visualize this every morning for 5 minutes, it's going to keep you motivated to continue on with the next 3 steps. Step 3 is to write a rough outline of your chapters of your book. Doesn't have to be perfect. And here's the thing, one thing you have to do is write it with pen on paper, okay? Pen on paper, because pen on paper helps you pull from your inner knowing and put it onto the paper. You can type things up later, but always begin with pen on paper. So that's step number 3, writing a rough outline of your chapters and the rough names of the chapters. This is your map. Much like an artist will create a sketch before they do a painting, and the sketch is their map, your rough outline of chapters is your map. Now, step number 4. This is where you really get into the good stuff. You are going to schedule a minimum of 30 minutes every single day at the same time, every single day that you are going to write your book. Now, why do I say 30 minutes? Because some of you can only do 30 minutes. Most people can only make a small commitment to get them in the practice of it. Now, when your 30 minutes is up, you can keep writing if you want. You can keep writing for 3 hours. What I want you to do is be committed to the same time every day, a minimum of 30 minutes. And if you want to keep going beyond that 30 minutes, keep going. The 30 minutes and at the same time every day is part of the magic. And I'm going to quote Stephen King, who said, "Yes, I get inspiration at 9 o'clock every morning when I sit down to write." So you don't wait for inspiration. The act of sitting down and writing generates your inspiration. Okay, and step number 5 is what is my step number 5? Okay, so step number 5, you're going to edit after you've written at least half of your book on paper, okay? So don't edit as you write, because that will stop you. You will lose the flow and it will slow you down, and it will literally take you 5 or 10 times longer to write your book if you edit while you're writing. So I want you to get at least 5 chapters. If you have 10-chapter book, 5 chapters written in a very rough draft first before you take it to the typewriter, or the typewriter. Nobody has typewriters anymore. Computer, laptop, whatever. And then edit it. If you follow these steps to the T, I promise you, you will have your book written and you will have your first rough draft written in less than 30 days. Now, what happens when you have that first draft written? Now you can do a complete edit and then hand it over to an editor, which you can hire online. And that's a whole nother topic, but it's easy to find editors to edit your book professionally. And I hope this was helpful. Please leave me a comment. And if you like what I have to say, please hit subscribe to my YouTube channel and go into the description and click the link that leads you to my online newsletter. I think you might like it. All right. That's it for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.